Hey, we got Drewz Viewz here, back for a little Anime Monday, reacting to anime on Monday. Although this one, I think I might be putting out not on a Monday, because I'm ready to get started here. This might be a Thursday or Friday release with watching a little anime, because it's been a while. It's been several weeks since I've been watching any anime on the channel here. My boy Eric and I finished Revolutionary Girl Utena. We took a bit of a hiatus, but I definitely wanted to have him back watching more anime with me reacting. So welcome back in, Eric. How's it going over there?
What's up, buddy? Happy to be back. Happy to be watching anime with you.
Yeah, and I also am going to do something a little different with this series here, which is two things that are going to be different. One is that it's a show that I have seen already, an anime I've already watched. One of my favorites, maybe my favorite in general. It's possible. It's definitely up there. One of the shows that, I started getting into anime and maybe about, pretty late in life relatively for myself. So probably about 6-ish years ago at this point. And it wasn't the first series I watched, but it was pretty near the beginning of when I started watching on my own, and it had been recommended a lot. It's Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, as you know by the title here. We're going to react to episode 1 today, but yeah, it was definitely instrumental in continuing my appreciation for the medium here, and I've wanted to kind of do a show where, like, the type of reaction a lot of people do where one person's seen it and one hasn't. Now there's a little wrinkle here because, Eric, you've actually told me that you started this anime, and so you've seen a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So you've seen the one we're going to watch today and probably the next several after that. But in general, we'll get to the point pretty quickly where you haven't seen it, right? So
yeah.
Do you remember why did you start? Why did you stop, if you recall?
Yes, I started watching this like 4 years ago because I, like you, began to give anime a chance as an adult. One of my best friends had a little sister move to town, and she was just like a huge nerd. Shout out to you, Lara. And just loves talking about nerdy shit with me. And so mentioned this and like, hey, absolutely, you should watch this. You must watch this. And I gave it a chance, and I did bounce off of it. So I've not seen a bunch of these, but do want to be upfront that I've seen some.
Yeah, and you've seen all. You didn't like jump around, right? The ones you've seen are like the first few episodes. Right?
Yeah, I would never watch a linear story out of order.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know, but sometimes it could be a situation where the friend was watching, you came in and out of the room. I don't know. What do you remember from it? Is there? I guess I'm trying to see if there's a reason why you didn't stick with it.
Well, I remember I really liked the guy who can make it be fire. This guy, I was really into his whole deal. I didn't so much like the brothers, if I'm perfectly honest. Okay. I really bounced off of their whole twee, but also talking directly to camera. I hate that. About like, you're my brother and I love you and I could never leave you behind. Yes, brother. Thank you, brother. Okay. That at least in the dub bugged me. And then I don't know. I found it like both twee and pretentious. And I'm more than happy to be proved wrong over the course of this, obviously.
Well, I think you might be, but we'll find out. Who knows? That does bring me into my second point, though, that I said. The first one was 2 things I haven't done. One is react to a show I've seen already, an anime I've seen already. The other one is react to a dub of an anime, which I've never done. I'm definitely sub over dub, generally speaking, but I did figure that for this one, since I have seen the sub already, maybe watching the dub could add a new element. I think it will add somewhat of a new element for me, even though I've seen the whole story, the whole show already. It could be something else too, a different experience a little bit. And frankly speaking, it is easier to edit shows in English for the channel here than it can be a little difficult with like when we did Utena and all other shows I've done that are subs. I kind of go by the words on the screen more, like reading it when I edit together. So I cut it off at like mid-sentence all the time and stuff like that. So that won't be the case here. I don't know if that makes sense, if you understand what I'm saying, but just the editing style doesn't flow as well the way I chop these up. But anyway, so yeah, well, I'm interested to see the dub here, see what the voices are. Yeah, you kind of keyed in on something with anime where there is a lot of exposition and that's like very direct and like feels stilted, I guess, in a way of like, yeah, you are my brother and this, yeah, but that's just kind of part of it, I guess. Maybe that will be more. I kind of, I guess, not watching a lot of dubs, I kind of had in my head that that might be less of a thing with the dub, because like I feel like in English they could kind of
I don't think
put
so
it together, but I don't know if that's
I
the
don't think
case
it's
at
less.
all. So it might be even starker, I guess. I think you have watched more dubbed anime than myself, based on what you told me, I think.
Yeah. I don't generally watch subtitled anime, which I know is a huge sin, but hear me out. I also like to be playing video games when I'm watching anime.
Not making it better by saying that though, so okay. Distracting you. Well, no video game. Put the controller down. We're focusing on episode 1 of Fullmetal Alchemist here. We talked a lot already. I think let's just watch this episode and then we'll talk after episode 1 here, and I'll dig into see what we remember from both having watched this one in the past, and maybe I'll ask you a couple questions about where I think the series might be going from here, things like that, or talk more about the show specifically. How about that?
I'm down. Let's do it.
So this one is just called Fullmetal Alchemist. Let's go ahead and watch. We're opening on the city and one of these symbols here.
I believe that's called a sigil. So
The freezing alchemist.
This ain't House of the Dragon.
And that he managed to slip into Central a few days ago. That's why I've summoned you here, Colonel.
This is
That's
the
my
guy
guy, yeah.
you mentioned.
Consider it
Colonel
done, sir.
I don't know if
Good to know I
the
got people here I can count
if the
on.
viewers watching along know this, but this guy can make it be fire, and I'm really into that.
Forgive me, Fuhrer Bradley,
I think they
but just
know,
to be
but
clear,
yes, it
you're
is
referring to...
I am.
And this other guy with the eye patch is Fuhrer
Does
Bradley.
this mean we're not going?
Hero Bradley.
No, Al. For now, let's just
Fuhrer
get this over
Bradley.
with.
So we got the Elric brothers here, the two main characters, basically.
So at this point, they do work for the government.
Yeah, well, we'll see exactly what's going on. But yeah, this is Central, the part of this particular city. This guy's an ice alchemist.
Nasty
I
thing to
believe.
do.
You of all people should know great deeds require great sacrifice.
Save your breath. The laws of alchemy don't justify murder.
We have an alchemist battle off the gate.
I like how his face is on the end of that bat.
Yeah, that.
Now, what's the deal here?
Anime
Certain
flash.
alchemists like only can work with certain elements.
If it's an
Because this guy's
consolation,
only working
didn't roll
water.
my
Well,
count.
yeah, and like Mustang does fire. So there's like different alchemies basically of these different elements. So
It's an auto mail right
and like
arm.
this guy, they're
I
fighting.
know you. You
This
are the
they're just
Fullmetal
going straight
Alchemist.
exposition here.
Oh, he is? Okay.
He's the Fullmetal Alchemist. So they're talking
it's
about
not
these
you.
transmutation circles. That's what he was drawing. It wasn't a sigil.
He's a runt.
Oh, yeah, can a rat do
We'll learn a lot more about that.
I've heard the stories, but still I never imagined this.
Don't call me little!
I love a good title, Justify.
You know, brother, I don't think he was really talking about your height just now.
And the Fullmetal Alchemist isn't the brother who is made out of metal.
Right. One of them's full metal and the other's the alchemist.
I'm really not the one you should be thanking.
Got a train to catch.
Oh, okay.
I feel like the in the dub, I feel like this voice actor who plays the titular Full Metal Alchemist, which again is not the giant suit of armor, I feel like I hear him all the time when I'm watching, of course, dubbed anime.
Yeah, he's a very famous voice actor.
Who is this guy anyway?
You'd know that if you listened to the briefing like
He
I
is
told you to.
fully canceled.
Oh, really?
Oh.
So we can get into that at a later point. But yeah,
Sorry, Kay, whatever.
he was one of the main characters on a show I like called Ruby.
His name is Isaac McDougal.
I don't know if you're familiar with that. I brought it up before, but he got fired
He's a
off that
former
after like
state
season
alchemist.
4 or something.
Oh, don't do bad shit, folks.
Me Too type of stuff.
Nope.
But we're gonna hear his voice a lot
There
watching
was no
this.
signs that he'd turned traitor.
And he's a good voice actor. Yeah.
But after, he immediately resigned his commission and went into hiding.
More Expedom.
And ever since, taking him into custody is a matter of top priority.
Wait, this guy's working with the anti-establishment movement.
No way, I'm not killing anyone for you.
The guy that where they were just fighting.
Just simply to help us contain him. That's all.
Are we going to find out at some point that possibly they have the right of it and there's a conspiracy?
We'll see.
Heard you let him put you in charge of catching the freezer, huh? One hell of a nasty
I know I
assignment.
don't like this guy. I remember that.
Oh, see? Looks like my timing was perfect. Wow, it's an honor to finally meet the youngest state.
Okay, we were
alchemist
kind of
ever. You're
talking
real
over a little
legend
more
around
expo.
here.
They're trying to put their bodies back together.
You want Edward?
Yeah.
What? You're the Fullmetal Alchemist?
Alphonse doesn't want to be a pseudo.
I mean,
Hughes!
Yeah.
I kind of do.
Actually, I'm here on official business, which means you'll have to come with me. Love to have you.
Hughes loves his family.
What could possibly go wrong?
Big brother, little brother.
Is Edward Elric.
What do you think
This is
the
my younger
over-under
brother,
for the
Alphonse
entire
Elric.
64 episode run of this show is for how many fucking times they make that joke?
The younger means little.
These people are
It's
very
gonna be a
nice and
high
all
over.
state.
Edward definitely has a big chip on his shoulder over.
Okay, eat
It's
up.
been 4 times in...
Big part of his
Yeah,
personality.
it's been 4 times in 8 minutes.
This is great.
Don't be shy. Eat all you want.
Fonz, how are you gonna eat wearing that armor? Take it off, relax.
Oh boy, you done stepped in it.
Allowed to. He has to wear it all the time. You know how it is. I'll eat enough for both of us.
Choo-choo.
The freezing alchemist wants me to come play his sidekick. Crimson alchemist works alone. I always have.
We can bring down Bradley and his
Crimson
godforsaken
Alchemist.
military.
What element is crimson?
Okay.
You were there, damn it.
Well,
Clay.
You know
It's
the
Clay.
things Bradley ordered us to do.
Sure, Clay. Well, but I forgot about that. I forgot that this character was in this first episode.
I
don't
think
remember
you
this
got me
part
all
at all.
wrong.
Oh yeah, I kind of remember this guy.
The reason I killed all of those men was because I could.
That's too bad,
The
Kimberly.
Crimson Alchemist is a bit of a psycho.
He's like the dang old Joker.
Keep up the good work.
Ooh,
Mace, dear. What's wrong?
his first name is Mace. I didn't remember that either.
You're worrying about those boys, aren't you?
The dogs of the military, not exactly the most popular bunch.
Why would they call them that? I don't think that translates.
The dogs,
Mother.
like they do what they're told. And they just go out
Sure,
and stuff,
sure.
It looked a lot like Mom's, huh?
I just think
I guess.
we could localize that a little
In
better.
that case, I'm definitely adding it to the list of things I'm gonna eat once I get my body back.
You're gonna do your
I
own dub by then.
I might as well. This guy's fucking canceled anyway.
That's true. Vic Mignogna, I believe is the name. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. So we're learning there, as we kind of already saw from
One more and
the
fewer
dinner scene,
Bradley
but
is ours.
Alphonse cannot eat. He is literally in the suit of armor right now. He can't eat or sleep, which sucks.
He can't sleep either.
Whatever he's up to, he's growing bold.
That's fucking brutal. Your
No.
boy loves to sleep.
Close off all roads. Shoot on sight. That is an order from the Fuhrer himself.
They're going on full military lockdown to stop one dude.
He's mine.
It's bad and he's a dangerous man.
Okay, and if I recall correctly, it will explain why sometimes you have to draw a chalk symbol on the ground to cast alchemy or summon or whatever, and sometimes, like, my guy can
Yeah,
just make it
yeah,
be
yeah.
fire.
You mostly always
Find him before he hurts anyone else.
well let's
Okay.
talk about it at the end of the
Finished.
episode.
You are able to dodge my alchemy so easily.
I know that voice. Is that you,
Now,
Armstrong?
this is a fan favorite
I
character
remember.
coming in.
None other. It is I, the strong-arm alchemist.
Ah, shut it! I've always wanted to chop that ego down to size.
And water to quench my fists.
Now, what is this guy's element? The strong arm alchemist.
I guess
Thanks for the quick save, Al.
Let's go.
I'm
they're not all
misunderstanding. Okay.
elements. They're just like different.
It's just like X-Men. Everybody's power has a theme.
A long time, Freezer.
Basically, that I recall.
I'd rather not fight an old war buddy.
War buddy. Please don't flatter yourself. Only military bastards and their damn dogs.
More dog talk.
When water meets flame, the flame goes out.
It's a pretty good move to be able to do, make an ice bridge and then melt it. So no.
Yeah, this guy's pretty much got all those bases
Still there.
covered.
Stop right there.
Uh-oh. I may have spoken
He's
too
got
soon.
a tangle with the Fullmetal
And
Alchemist.
bingo.
But who's running?
They just cut to something there. I wouldn't know what that was.
Impossible. Unless...
Edward Elric. You've sworn your life to the state as a dog of the military.
Who cares? It's not my problem.
Don't be a fool! He'll lead us all to ruin. I'm only doing what needs to be done.
All right, nice workout. So where is it? You have a Philosopher's Stone, don't you?
Alright, we're learning about these stone.
A Philosopher's Stone,
You're out
not
of your
the
league.
Philosopher's Stone.
Not the Sorcerer's Stone either. American.
Stand back and prepare for a display of Armstrong alchemy! The alchemic arts passed down the Armstrong line for generations!
So if you see, he has like symbols on his thing that has his kind of metal hand thing there.
Unexpected.
Right?
What the heck are you doing? You're making it worse!
No, I was merely...
This seems like
The ice walls!
Ah, damn it! It's Central Command! Can you handle the transmutation circles?
Consider them erased.
For your cold-blooded crimes in Ishval, I condemn you to a frozen hell.
Not so fast! You can play that game!
Brother!
Alphonse!
There's no one in there.
wouldn't that mean
That could only be true if the soul was bonded to the armor. And your brother, he lost his entire body. You fools committed the ultimate taboo. You attempted human transmutation, didn't you? Alchemy's one and only unforgivable sin.
Alright. So again, some of the rules here.
now this is a flashback? Okay.
Yep. When they committed the ultimate sin.
Brother, he's all I have left!
This is the kind of shit I was talking about.
Saying like,
Right.
he's my little brother.
And what is this? So the mention of that incident sent them into a berserker rage that allowed them to hit the guy finally?
I don't know if he's in that much of a rage. I mean, he always kind of has that going. He always fights with that kind of
You've
reckless
forgotten
abandon like
something.
that.
I have all the water I need. Why can't you fools understand? I'm trying to save this country.
Going after him.
Frozen
I'm not
blood.
done.
What a weapon.
That's pretty metal.
Oh man. Guess his hand dried off.
What do you think of my flames now, you bastard?
It's bad enough that he's useless on rainy days.
Uh-oh.
If I recall correctly. There.
Your King's pretty good with that sword.
Right, like he's not an alchemist, but he's got like a shit ton of moves.
Now that is
Why can you just sense him dying?
Leave it to me! The Armstrong fist will not fail!
Running to that guy again.
We've seen that face twice now. Who could it be?
You're here?
Ah, yes. Job well done, Fullmetal. If nothing else, this should make an exciting story for my son.
People get colds in anime quite often, anytime it rains.
The one who actually brought down McDougal.
Sure, but the Fuhrer's telling everyone it was you.
What? He doesn't want credit.
Suit yourself, but some friendly advice. Next time a superior tells you to take credit for something you didn't do, you might try it for once.
Whether or not he had a Philosopher's Stone.
No, but maybe it'll say something in the official report.
I doubt it.
This is a good bit. I remember liking this guy.
And as I suspected,
Yeah, like I said,
you're in
he's a fan
desperate need
favorite.
of my assistance.
And he loves pulling that shirt off.
You need the example of a perfect physical specimen to inspire your recovery. You see?
Uh-oh.
I see, so Isaac's dead, is he? That's a shame. I had such high hopes for him, too. Sounds like he overused it. Yes, things are going well here, Leo. We'll be ready. It all
Who the
begins
fuck is
very
that?
soon.
Now, you've seen the first few episodes at least, so you do know who it is, right? Or do you not recall?
Oh, yeah, I'm very familiar with that character.
Alright.
I was really into that character for, reasons.
Alright, well, we'll see more of her, but yeah, we don't need to get into it yet. Seen the first few. It's not going to be like, what do you think is going to happen next ever? You know a little bit more of what's going on with it.
I don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Per se.
I'm
right?
going to try to remember
It's been a while.
Yeah, I didn't actually remember that first episode all that well. I remember some elements of it, but strangely, the thing I remember the most is kind of that like dinner scene, and like he's taking them in and like bringing them to his house with his family and stuff. I remember that.
Well, because
The thing
we
about
both
you,
remember
why are you
something
eating?
else that's coming up
Oh.
that made a bigger impression than any of this. So anything that reminds us of that is going, yeah.
So that's another thing down the line that you did get to that episode. It sounds like. Hopefully, people will be still into this since we both seen the first. few
Also,
trailers.
quickly get past things that I already know about. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I don't remember specifically like some of the things that might have gotten introduced here. Certain things we definitely won't be. It'll be a long time before there's answers. Certain other things maybe in the next couple episodes if you have seen it at, but I don't know that. But let's talk about it a little bit here. With the first episode, just how is that as like a pilot episode? Did it get its aims across, or what were its aims? Did it introduce the world?
A lot of
A lot of
extra.
exposition. So do you know who the Elric brothers are from that, or what do we know about them so far? Let's say that.
Right. Well, it set up the central like quest here, where they fucked up when they were kids and lost parts or all of their bodies. So that'll be a big deal.
Yeah, like you said, they did something. Well, he even said it exposition wise. The guy they're fighting. Well, I can't remember the guy's name. The water or ice alchemist. Obviously, he doesn't last past the first episode. McDougal, that's what it is. McDougal, the freezing alchemist, that's what he is. The freezing alchemist got killed by the Fuhrer at the end there, so he won't be back. But he was like the set piece essentially of the episode was built around their fight with him. Actually, I think so. What we know about the brothers, you mentioned it like there's the constant joke or just part about everyone saying he's small or little, and he flies off the handle about it. And then, like I was kind of mentioning, his fighting style is he doesn't leave it on the table. He definitely goes for it hardcore. In battles, we'll see a lot more of that. And people were surprised also, not just about his size, but that up to this point in the first episode, he apparently has made a name for himself. People know the Fullmetal Alchemist. They don't know that he's like a kid, essentially, or they would think he's someone more visibly powerful, I guess, or older at least. And then we got with Alphonse, the younger brother, who's bigger because he's a big suit of armor. Was he bigger previously anyway? We'll find out. I don't know. But yeah, he's bonded to the suit. His soul is bonded to the suit by that mark that's on the inside. So obviously, Edward needs to protect that and make sure that it doesn't get erased, presumably. Now, don't answer if you know what they were doing, but just answer, do you know? Or don't say what it was if you know, but did you get to a point watching the series where you know what they were, why did they commit that sin?
I think I pretty much know, yeah.
Okay. So we'll see when we get to that. That's certainly going to come up again quite a bit. And then we could talk about we'll wrap it up soon and we'll talk more about the world and other characters on episode 2. But with the symbols, the transmutation symbols, do you get like what's going on with those?
I mean, in theory, I get what's going on with those. I know something about them based on this episode that I remembered that you can smudge them out and erase the magic, which may or may not be a source of constant danger for one of these characters.
So the like we were just talking about with Alphonse the suit, but the freezing alchemist was doing the symbols all over the ground. Alphonse, when he did some alchemy, he drew a symbol. He saw Armstrong had these like hand gauntlet things that had symbols on it, and Mustang with this fire, he has gloves that have like the symbols on it, right? The big difference here is, and they did mention it a few times in this episode, exposition wise, again, they're like, Edward, oh, you're not drawing anything, you can do this alchemy without the symbols. So basically, this character, for whatever reason, the titular character, is able to do alchemy differently than everyone else. Like, he doesn't need to draw anything, which people are surprised by, or there's not really precedent for that, it seems. So we'll see, is there anyone else that can do it? Maybe we'll find out, but that's kind of like one of the big elements from, I think, that you learn right away here. And I definitely got it more the second time watching this episode again. I think the first time I watched it years back, I was still confused by some of that stuff in the first one, of how the alchemy actually works and everything. But yeah, we're gonna move on to the second one. The second episode is called The First Day. We'll see what that's about. Potentially a little flashback action.
Well, then one last bit of like mysterious info dump that it set us up for. They have mentioned war crimes in another country.
Correct.
Too many times to ignore.
Yes, the kind of villain, if you call him that, the freezing alchemist from that episode, he was calling the one who ultimately killed him at the end, the Fuhrer Bradley, calling him a war criminal. And also they alluded to Mustang being in the war with the freezing alchemist. They apparently fought in whatever war that was together. So yeah, I think that's definitely going to come back as well. We'll certainly learn more about that. I think just at the end here, just to encapsulate a little bit why I like this show a lot, and I'm looking forward to going through it again, is it does have very good world building. I think the world ends up being pretty big, and it ties in a lot of stuff from past elements that is still relevant in the current, very relevant in what's going on with the current timeline of the show. And I think it's just really good writing because of that. But yeah, I'm excited to continue. We'll be back next time for The First Day. While we're getting along through the early part of the show that we've both at this point seen, but we need to get refreshed on what's going on. So please do join us back for that one. Let us know in the comments if you're into this, what you think about the show, etc. Just no spoilers generally. And yeah, until then, we're gonna be up out of here for now. Peace.
Hope you boys are hungry.